Kofi Kingston is a very talented wrestler who is among the most exciting to watch in the WWE. Kingston is energetic, high-flying, and is just simply an entertaining performer in the ring. Though today he's taken up a role in the New Day, he has accomplished quite a bit in WWE over the years. So here is Wrestling Origins Kofi Kingston. Kofi Sarkodie Mensah, pardon my pronunciation, was born on August 14, 1981 in Kumasi, Ghana. His family would move from Ghana to the US when he was just 2 years old. Kofi grew up an American in Winchester, Massachusetts, and just like many others around that time, he was a huge fan of professional wrestling. He grew up watching guys like Bret Hart and HBK, and says that he dreamt of becoming a wrestler himself since elementary school. As he grew older, Kofi would get more into athletics, taking up football in high school along with amateur wrestling. He was definitely on the smaller side, so he never really excelled at these sports like some other superstars, but it served as a way to develop his athletic abilities nonetheless. Even before high school, he says he was always outside, running around and always keeping active, so it's no surprise he's athletic as he is. Kofi came from a family of academics, so he was expected to go to college, and he did. Kofi would attend Boston College in the early 2000s, but after graduating, he realized that he didn't want a regular job. Kofi decided to join a local wrestling school in Boston, and says that from the moment he stepped into the school, he knew that was what he wanted to do. Though not everybody would agree with this, his family supported his decision to forego graduate school and follow his dreams. Kofi began training and would make his wrestling debut in February 2006 at Chaotic Wrestling. He would continue wrestling in the New England area, most notably competing a few times for NWA. His time touring the local circuit would be short-lived though, as in September of 2006 he signed a contract with WWE after an impressive tryout. He was immediately sent to Deep South Wrestling in Georgia to further train and develop. In 2007, Kofi would begin appearing in OVW alongside DSW and competed under the name Kofi Kingston. He would work a couple dark matches as well against the likes of MVP, Charlie Haas, and Trevor Murdoch during this time. He would spend the rest of 2007 mainly competing in the newly opened FCW in Florida, before making his way over to ECW. After vignettes and promotional material advertising him as WWE's first Jamaican superstar, Kofi would debut on January 22, 2008 for ECW and picked up a win over a local wrestler. Kingston's first major match was a 24-man Battle Royal, which aired on the WrestleMania 24 pre-show, but he was eliminated by Mark Henry. From there, Kofi would continue working as a singles competitor and would go undefeated for months until he suffered his first loss at the hands of Shelton Benjamin. As part of the 2008 WWE Supplemental Draft, Kofi Kingston was drafted to Raw. In his very first match on the roster, he would surprisingly defeat Chris Jericho for the Intercontinental Championship at Night of Champions. Side note, this made Kofi the first wrestler from Ghana to hold a title in WWE, as well as it being Kofi's first title in his admittedly short wrestling career. Kingston would hold this belt until SummerSlam, when he lost it to Santino Marella in an intergender tag team match. Next, Kofi would come to the aid of World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk, which resulted in the two becoming a tag team, as well as becoming friends in real life. The pair would go on to win the World Tag Team Championships not too long after, but eventually lost them to John Morrison and The Miz at a WWE live event of all places. Kingston would earn himself a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 25 after defeating Chris Jericho, but was unable to win it. He would, however, quickly beat MVP for the United States Championship and defended it multiple times. His reign would last over 4 months, 126 days to be exact, but he lost it to The Miz. After a conflict with his lackeys Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase, Kofi would begin a feud with Randy Orton. Orton believed he cost him the WWE Championship and for that would attack him, but Kofi would notably retaliate by destroying Orton's car. The feud was quite memorable and would last a few months, with the two trading victories over one another, and would finally end after Randy turned face and allowed Kofi to defeat Rhodes and DiBiase. After once again unsuccessfully competing in the WrestleMania Money in the Bank match, Kofi was drafted to SmackDown in the 2010 WWE Draft. In his SmackDown debut, he would once again defeat Chris Jericho before going on to win the vacant Intercontinental Championship. However, he was stripped of the title, which was returned to Drew McIntyre, but Kofi would win it back at Over the Limit. Kofi would eventually drop this title to Dolph Ziggler, which was followed by a lengthy feud between the two, where Ziggler would retain on multiple occasions. Kofi would continue chasing it though, and eventually won it back in January of 2011. From there, Kofi would lose his belt to Wade Barrett, get drafted back to Raw, and win the US Championship for the second time, only to lose it to Dolph Ziggler. In mid-2011, Kofi would team up with Evan Bourne to win the WWE Tag Team Championships. The pair, known as Air Boom, would retain the titles on multiple occasions, even surviving through Bourne's wellness policy violation. They would finally drop the titles in January of 2012 at a house show to Primo and Epico, which was followed by Bourne being suspended again. After failing to make an impact in the WWE Championship picture, Kingston would begin teaming up with R-Truth. The two would capture the WWE Tag Team Championships in April and defended them for 139 days, until losing to the team of Daniel Bryan and Kane before disbanding soon after. From there, Kingston would win the Intercontinental title for the fourth time, pull off some crazy feats of athleticism in the annual Royal Rumble match, win the United States Championship for the third time, take some time off to heal from an injury, and feud with The Miz before finding his way to a new tag partner, Big E. After suffering a loss on Raw, the duo was approached by Xavier Woods, who proposed forming an alliance between the three superstars, which they accepted. Though this was a big deal at the time, the trio would quietly disband over the next few weeks, before WWE began promoting their debut as a new stable called The New Day. Now, I've already covered the history of The New Day in depth in my Wrestling Origins Big E video, so check that out if you want to know more about the stable. To oversimplify it, The New Day would go on to become one of WWE's hottest stables of all time, as well as become the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history, holding the belts for an astounding 483 days. And that was Wrestling Origins Kofi Kingston. If you enjoyed the video, then maybe give it a thumbs up, and subscribe for more episodes of Wrestling Origins every Friday. Also, if I left out anything important, then let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.